For more information on our stories, please visit our website. It's channelstv.com. youtube.com/channelsweb has videos of our shows. Let's quickly cross over to Kogi State, where our correspondent Terry Kumi is standing by to give us an update on what's happening with regards to the elections being expected tomorrow. Less than 24 hours it is indeed, Terry. But tell us what the situation is where you are.
Well, hello, Gimba. We're still in the capital, Lokoja. By morning, we will deploy to some other parts of the state to monitor the elections there. But so far, here's some of the things that have come up so far in the day. So for INEC, we understand that materials have been deployed to the various local government areas, and quite early in the morning, they will be deployed to the various polling units, and we're looking to see how quickly that will be done. And then for election observers, we understand that for Yaga is deploying about 500 election observers, and there's also another election observer here, the physically challenged Access Nigeria, and they say they have about 200 election observers, all physically challenged. So they will be monitoring these elections to see how prepared INEC is for the physically challenged. I was taken round to the situation room, and they showed me from where they'll be monitoring. So we're looking to see how that will go. Then for security, we're still getting assurances from the police that all will be done well. The DIG in charge of operations in Kogi State did have a press conference earlier where he mentioned some figures. He said about 35,000 policemen have been deployed to Kogi State. Now, it will be interesting to know how the police handles this, how they will be able to draw a line between voter intimidation because of the numbers and guaranteeing voter security because of the numbers. In a few hours, give and take an hour plus, the Kogi entry and exit points in and out of Kogi will be blocked, and that's according to the directive of the IG, and will not be open till 4 p.m. tomorrow. I can tell you that it's quite calm in Kogi State where we are at the moment, but the police did say that they've carried out a threat assessment and they've been able to identify some of those areas where violence is likely to erupt, and they're making sure that they are deploying personnel to that area. We're looking also to see how much collaboration the police will have with other security agencies to ensure that the whole process goes smoothly. Now, when we had the general elections, they had a lot to contend with across the country. Now there are just 2 states up for elections, so we're looking to see what lessons that the electoral umpire and the police force have learned from those elections and how they will be able to make improvements now. And that's the key word from the election observers: improvement, improvement, and improvement. It's back to you, Gimba.
8 a.m. tomorrow morning, it's when the elections will kick in effect, and we'll be keeping up tabs with you. Terry, many thanks indeed for talking to us. Let's shift our gears now to our Abuja studios, where Linda Akigbe is standing by again to take us through a couple of more stories. Linda.
Hello, Gimba. Now, staying with tomorrow's governorship contest, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, insists it is going ahead to conduct the poll in Bayelsa State, despite the court order disqualifying one of the candidates for the poll. The media aide to the INEC chairman, Rotimi Oyekomi, says the commission's position is informed by the fact that it is not required to have the names of candidates on the ballot.
Our plans are going on tomorrow to conduct the elections with all the political parties on the ballot, those that are qualified to participate in the election. We are aware of 2 Federal High Court orders and 2 Appeal Court orders, but the interesting thing is that none of the judgments or orders ask us to drop the political party from the ballot. They are all talking about candidates. And for us, on our ballot on election day, we don't put the names of candidates on the ballot. We put the party acronyms and logos and the box in which eligible voters can fingerprint. So as far as we are concerned, we are good to go with the nature and plan that we have to conduct the elections. You know, this is part of the challenge that we are talking about, this 11th hour judgment that sometimes interfere with our processes. But looking at all the orders and all the judgments that have been served on us so far, we can safely say that we can go ahead with the election as planned, because in any case, just like I said minutes ago, we have the party logo and the acronym, right? And we don't even know what can happen between today and tomorrow or over the next few days. So the plan to have the election, we're going to have it, and it will be premature to then say that maybe the candidate will not be on the ballot, or they will not be allowed to vote, because all manner of orders are coming and flying about. But none of them, like I said, has told us or instructed us that we should drop the APC or any other political party from the election.
Away from the governorship elections, the Supreme Court has given reasons for dismissing the appeal filed by the PDP and its presidential candidate Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Explaining the rationale behind the judgment, Justice John Okoro, who read the submissions of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, says President Buhari is eminently qualified to have contested the election, as appellants fail to prove that he is not educated up to secondary school level. The court further holds that the failure of the appellants to call credible witnesses was fatal to their case, as they presented only 5 witnesses, including a star witness who relied on hearsay evidence. The Apex Court also insists that the appellants failed to prove issues of overvoting when it could not produce an authentic voters' register to validate its claim.
You recall the last time judgment was given, and the reason was to be given later. So today was the day stated for reasons for the judgment. And as you have listened, you had opportunity of listening to the lead judgment by the Honorable Chief Justice of Nigeria, and unanimously endorsed by other justices dismissing the appeal. And you may have listened, it was very, very robust, encompassing all aspects of the appellant's case as well as that of the respondents. And I think it was a very well-balanced judgment in looking at the facts and circumstances of the case and looking at the case on the merit. So that was the summary of what happened today, and we are grateful for the reinforcement.
Meanwhile, the appeal court, also sitting in Abuja, has upheld the electoral victory of Governor Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta State. The panel of 5 justices, led by Justice Uzo Ndukwe Anyanwu, dismissed the appeal filed by Chief Great Ogboru for lack of merit. According to the justices, the appellant was unable to prove a case of electoral irregularities and overvoting that he alleged. While the Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice for Delta State described the judgment as a true reflection of what happened during the elections, the lead counsel to Chief Ogboru disagreed with the judgment, even though he says it is binding until a superior court rules otherwise.
The judgment in favor of the governor is expected because from the foundation, the architecture of that case was bad from the beginning. You cannot be challenging 896 polling units with 5 witnesses from those units. That's bad business. So it's expected.
Within the short period they have had, they have given their decision. The decision is not the way we expected it to go. But by law, by due process, we are bound by it, even though we do not accept it. We do not agree with it. So all we just ask the court is to avail us with a copy of the judgment so that our clients, the appellants, can decide what to do with it. You understand? Because there's a due process. Yes, that's it.
Away from election matters, the management of the National Examinations Council, NECO, has dismissed 70 staff from her services for alleged certificate forgery. The decision follows a report submitted by a committee constituted to verify the certificates of staff considered to be questionable and vetted by NECO governing board. The council vows zero tolerance for corruption and says it is poised to sanitize the system. It says the dismissal of the 70 staff is faced in the series of the ongoing staff certificate verification exercise in the council. In the wake of the land border closure and recent oil theft in Lagos, the Nigerian Navy appears to be stepping up its game with air surveillance around the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation pipelines from Atlas Cove, Apapa to Ejibo and Mosimi depots in Lagos and Ogun states. In a recent raid, the commander of NNS Beecroft, Commodore Ibrahim Shatima, said the Navy recovered 328 jerry cans filled with products from makeshift structures at Kobigame village, located about 10 minutes away from NNPC's facility in Atlas Cove. He added that another 30,000 empty jerry cans were also seized.